What's going on, guys? Master Tom here, 7th degree black belt, Shaolin Kempo Karate, Action Martial Art Hall of Fame member, and former amateur world kickboxing champion. Today, we're going to be going over the 4-point blocking system. It's the blocking system we learned at 3rd degree brown belt, and Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid had some very good points that'll help us with 4-point blocking. Come on, let's get into it. So we started off with 8-point blocking system, which were hard blocks, right? We were talking about hard blocks for trainers coming down the tracks. We're putting up a brick wall, and we're stopping that train with hard blocks. Then we talked about 10-point blocking system, which was softer blocks, okay? So again, we're not pity-pattying, but there were softer blocks, open hand blocks, guiding, pushing. That was almost like the train's coming down the tracks, and we put a big cushion in front of the tracks. 4-point blocking is kind of going back to that hard blocking system, so it's going to be similar to 8-point blocking system, but it's going to be more accurate now. So instead of putting up like a big brick wall to just stop this train, we're going to be kind of off to the side on the tracks with, heat-seeking missile and shooting that missile and then finding that train and shooting that train off the tracks. So that's kind of the metaphors that I kind of use with these blocking systems. And then also we got another metaphor for plum tree blocking, but we'll get there when that time comes. Only 4 blocks. There's different variations of those blocks. I've seen it practiced a few different ways, so I'm going to kind of show you the 2 different versions of the way you can practice the 4-point blocking system and then how to apply these blocks. So we're going to start horse stance. Hands up on guard here. We're going to do upward chicken wrist block, downward palm block, chicken wrist, palm, chicken, palm, chicken wrist, palm, double up, down, out, cross, and then opposites here, here, and here. So I'm going to do it one more time, flowing. Now, that's the way we practice it kind of when I say flowing, very smooth, flowing, non-stopping. Another good way to practice 4-point blocking is once you memorize it and have that pattern down, and again, kind of like when we talked about 10-point blocking, where it was kind of smooth, flowing, kind of making it like a form, 4 points kind of the same way. Now what we start doing is breaking it apart a little bit and making them actual blocks and separating each block by itself. So now be on guard, and instead of being flowing here a 4-point, I'll be more here, bang, 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 just popping these blocks out as individual blocks here. So that is the 4-point blocking. So in essence, it's really just a chicken wrist block. Some people call this like an ox jaw, praying mantis hand, whatever strike you want to call this, but we're using the back of our wrist here, chicken wrist. This is going to be either up or to the side, and then we have a palm block. So we're using the base of our hand, whether it's down or to the side. So what I was talking about with Karate Kid is when Mr. Miyagi is teaching Karate Kid paint the fence and paint the house, he was talking about always lock the wrist, lock the wrist. And that's a big part of the 4-point blocking system. That's what separates these blocks from some of the other blocks that maybe like from 10-point blocking. So if I was doing a block or even 8-point blocking system with open hand counters, open hand blocks, it's not so much I'm just blocking across and using my whole hand here. I'm using just this wrist. But again, it's not like a soft block from 10-point where I'm kind of just pushing like here. It's going to be a snap. So this is snapping in, and I'm snapping at here. The chicken wrist block is not just guiding or pushing. It's here, 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 here. Snaps. Snaps on impact. Bang. 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 Snaps. Snaps. So everything is lock the wrist and snap. So 10-point blocking would be a block like this, kind of coming down, or even 8-point blocking, combination, 7 or 8 block this way. But 4-point is palm. I'm locking that wrist, and I'm only striking this part. So again, 8-point, big brick wall. You're just smashing as things are coming in. 4-point is now more pinpoint, more accuracy here, okay? So let me bring the partner in, and I can show you guys a little bit more of the applications of the blocks. All right, so we got Sensei Rob here. So we're going to work on some of the applications of these blocks. Again, there's only 4 blocks, but there's different ways we can apply these blocks to different strikes and different variations of them. So as Rob's punching in, and we're just going to, real basic right now, Rob's throwing a punch towards my head. And this chicken wrist block is, again, I got to get this snap. So I'm going to lock this wrist, and I'm just popping this hand up. So that's my upward block. If he throws this hand, it could be this way here. It could even be an overhand strike if he was coming up overhand, and I'm just popping this out. So again, I'm being more accurate, so I'm not just knocking his whole arm out of the way, even if I had my chicken wrist handy. I'm just not doing this. It's more just pop. I'm snapping. Obviously, if you can get tendons or into the pressure points, depending on what side you're blocking, you can always go for those. But I always have this kind of my forearm as a backup. So if I kind of block here, I still have this forearm. So even if I hit more with the forearm by accident and not with the end of my wrist, I still have this snap. So it's not just, as he punches, it's not just guided away. So you have your up block, boom, and you have the downward palm block. If he throws a downward strike, boom. And again, I'm not pushing, I'm not just guiding as he punches, it's lock the wrist and it snaps down. So that's that 4-point. My weight drops, everything drops with it. He comes up high, everything comes up high. Boom, he comes low, everything comes low. So that's your 4-point, whether it's this hand. If he's throwing more a circular strike, we'll go this hand just for the camera. If he's going more circular strike, again, here's my snap here. Again, if I miss with this, I'm still snapping my whole forearm. I still have this whole block here, but I'm having this strike here. If he throws and we'll go with this hand again. If he throws this hand here again, and we're doing the cross palm block, again, I'm just snapping, locking my wrist and snapping this into place. So it's not, as he punches, it's not just going to be this. It's not just, hey. It's going to be, boom, snap. That's that 4-point blocking. So you have the different variations, and I know the blocking system has double up and he's double downs. Is Rob coming at me with 2 front punches at the same time and I'm going, hurrah, like this? No. But it can be used actually if he's trying to grab me or something like that, or grab me around my throat and I'm just popping his hands up. Or it could be similar if he's coming to my throat and I'm just popping his hands down. So you can use those. And again, you can see already how I use this already as a strike. So as he came down, boom, here, now I could pop back up and I have this strike. So I'm flexing from one spot and then I flex completely the opposite way and you get your flex for the other spot. So obviously every strike can be a block, every block can be a strike. So you have those different ones. So you have these doubles, and again, this double could be the real easy answer is Rob's trying to bear hug me, and I could just go and do this. That's always an easy one. But again, it doesn't have to be necessarily. Remember, the 4-point blocking is just teaching you lock your wrist, lock your wrist. Here's the 4 blocks. Here's some different variations of it. You don't have to just walk around and going, hey, I'm doing this double block. You could if he throws a punch and this hand just kind of coming back and I'm kind of extending, and this is an over-exaggeration, but just to kind of see that. So you can still use it like that if you wanted to. These double blocks here, double blocks up, double blocks down. After we do this part here, so double, double, double out, and then we have this one. This one's a cool one too. So just like I was saying before, we were using this as an example. Rob's coming at me maybe with a bear hug or like a front choke. We'll use front choke for now. So again, front choke, you can be like, hey, boom, and separating this way. But another good front choke defense is when Rob's coming in actually for a front choke, this is actually good just in general. Most of the time, people's hands are coming from the outside and they're coming where? Your neck is straight in line, it's closer, it's here, your hands are coming where? In. So as Rob's hands are coming in, and we're over exaggerating just so you guys can see, as they're coming in, if you're doing any sort of motion this way, this is harder to defend. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm fighting his force. His forces are coming in, he's stronger this way, and I'm trying to resist this as he's coming in. But a good way is as Rob's coming in, and again, over exaggeration so you can see his hands are coming in. As his hands coming in, boom, just closing him. So as Rob comes in with a front choke, it's bang, bang, and then you go into flying knees or whatever combination Kempo you guys want to go from there. But that closing his arms are already moving in. So if I can step back, double palms, and cross his hands, boom, he starts coming in. And if he's really got a lot of forward momentum, he's just literally walking right into me for whatever I want to do. So when you guys are here, you have this double block and this double block, and these hands cross, boom, boom, boom. There's your blocking the front choke. And like I said before in the other videos, if you haven't seen my video on how to practice blocking systems, make sure you guys are practicing these blocking systems in different stances, and again, breaking these apart. Don't just be here and just, okay, 4-point blocking, okay, 4-point blocking. Oh, I'm just doing it in my horse stance. No, be in your other stance. Boom, practice your blocks from here. Practice them from your different stances and moving around. These opposite blocks, again, unless Rob's throwing like a U-punch at me, and he comes in with a U-punch, and I'm like, hey, boom. I highly doubt you would probably use both of these at the same time. But again, it's just showing you how to use those blocks. Big thing with the downward palm block is don't have your fingers pointed towards your opponent. I know some people will say, oh, open hand blocks can break your fingers and things like that. There's always that possible. There's always that risk. But again, there's always a risk of breaking anything. There's a risk of me breaking my knuckles when I punch Rob in the forehead. So, so there's always a risk of anything when you're fighting. But if you are going to do a palm block, and whether it's a punch or a kick, but we're just going to do punch for now, I'm not pointing my fingers towards Rob. I'm trying to keep them off to the side or even slightly back towards this angle. Never want to be here. So I don't want to be palm block here. I want to be palm block here. So this is why I keep this off. So if I did block a kick, and again, I'm not recommending you block a kick like this, but if you did block a kick or you were just in motion, again, sometimes in fighting, we just, you know, whatever comes out, comes out. And if I end up blocking a kick, if I practice blocking kicks with my fingers out and he throws a front kick, that's no good. If I'm always practicing blocking and keeping my fingers away, bang, that's safer for my fingers. So always fingers at least to the side or a little bit more angled towards you. These blocks here, I like these blocks. So in 4-point blocking, when we do these opposites here, one big key is I'm keeping this elbow and this forearm close to my body here. So this chicken wrist strike. And again, 4-point blocking is teaching us this flex. If you kept it this way, if you were just blocking this way, that's another version of this. But right now, for the 4-point blocking, to keep it traditional, is this here. I'm keeping this close to my body here. This palm stays here. I picture there's a wall here. So if there was a wall, these are on the same plane. So it's not this, it's not this, it's this. These are on the same plane. And as I move across, same thing. Chicken wrist is always closer to you. I see people do this. This gets your, now I don't have enough leverage, muscle structure over here, everything's kind of out of whack. So I always want to keep this elbow close to me, chicken wrist close to me, palm goes on the outside. So as I switch, boom. As I switch, you can see everything locks into place, and my elbow stays close to me with the chicken wrist. Never this way, always chicken wrist close to you. These are great. These are great if you got a power shot coming at you. Rob's coming in and he's throwing a big power hook at me or something like that, and it's boom, and I'm just blocking here. Again, you can use the chicken wrist. You can just keep a fist here and just bang and just snap everything into place here. Really good for roundhouse kicks, and you're blocking roundhouse kicks here and bang. Again, you don't have to use that chicken wrist per se, but you can still block in here and you're doing a double block. So that double block actually works out really well. And I think that's actually all the different variations of those blocks. So again, some of these double blocks, would you use them exactly how they are in 4-point blocking? Maybe not, but they're just there to kind of keep you working on, like Mr. Miyagi said, lock the wrist. 4-point blocking, lock the wrist. Small, short, quick, snappy, powerful blocks. And that, guys, is 4-point blocking system. Us.